Transform me, transform me. Yeah, transform me, transform me.
Hey you guys, welcome back to another episode of Root to Rise, where we grow in our faith and stay rooted in the Word. I am your host, Najee K. Vaughn, and today we are talking about something that absolutely needs to be addressed, and that is judgment in Christianity and the hypocrisy that comes with it. Christians can be some of the most judgmental people, and we look at others who don't believe like we do, live like we do, or practice faith the way we think they should, and we automatically place them in the category of lost, confused, wrong, or demonic. And in doing so, we forget one important thing. At one point, we didn't have it all together either. The truth is, we all have a little bit of hypocrisy in us, as much as you probably don't want to admit it. Whether we realize it or not, we hold others to standards that we ourselves struggle to meet. So today, we are breaking down what judgment really means in Christianity, why we fall into hypocrisy, and how we can correct the mindset so that we actually help people instead of pushing them further from Christ. So first, I want to talk about the issue with judgment in Christianity. We love to judge, but hate to be judged. Let's be honest, when someone judges us, we get defensive. We say things like, "You don't know my heart," or "Only God can judge me." But when we turn around and judge someone else for what they wear, how they talk, how they worship, or even how spiritually mature we think they are, Matthew 7:1-2 says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." That is a warning. The same standard we hold others to is the same standard God will hold us to. So why do we think it is okay to judge others, but not okay when they do the same to us? That is hypocrisy. I'm going to give you an example. The Pharisees and the tax collector. In Luke 18:9-14, Jesus tells a parable about a Pharisee and a tax collector. The Pharisee stands in the temple praying, "God, I thank you that I'm not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like the tax collector." Meanwhile, the tax collector is too ashamed to even lift his head, simply praying, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." Jesus says it was the tax collector, not the Pharisee, who went home justified before God. Why? Because the Pharisee was full of pride, looking down on others instead of recognizing his own need for grace. And that's exactly how we sound when we judge people who don't live or believe like we do. So what is the hypocrisy of judgment? One, we forget where we came from. And Titus 3:3 reminds us, "At one time we too were foolish, disobedient, deceived, and enslaved by all kinds of passions and pleasures. Before we came to Christ, we were lost too. And even now we're still growing. But for some reason, as soon as we learn something new, we expect everyone else to get it immediately. And that is not fair. And it is not how God deals with us." We judge people for sins we once struggled with. Have you ever noticed that sometimes that people who are the most judgmental about certain sins are the same ones who used to struggle with them? Someone who used to party every weekend will call someone else worldly for doing the same thing. Someone who used to be in a toxic relationship will shame another person for not knowing better. But didn't it take you time to get there? Didn't God have to work on you? Instead of condemning, we should be extending the same grace that brought us out. We expect non-believers to act like Christians. And this one is the big one. We judge people for not living by biblical standards when they don't even know Christ. That's like expecting a baby to walk before they even know how to crawl. In 1 Corinthians 2:14, it says, "The person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit of God, but considers them foolish and cannot understand them because they are discerned only through the Spirit." People can't follow God's ways until they actually know God. Instead of expecting them to live like believers, we should be introducing them to Jesus so that He can transform them. The right way to approach others, especially non-believers, is to correct with love, not condemnation. In Galatians 6:1, it says, "Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently." It doesn't say call them out publicly. It doesn't say shame them until they change. It says gently restore them. That means we approach with love, not harshness. We need to examine ourselves first. Before we point out someone else's flaws, we need to check our own. In Matthew 7:3-5, it talks about how we're so quick to notice the speck in someone else's eye while ignoring the log in our own. Self-examination should always come first. And lastly, we need to trust God to do the transforming. We can plant the seeds, we can have the conversations, we can pray. But at the end of the day, God does the work in people's heart, not us. And 1 Corinthians 3:6-7 reminds us that one person plants, another waters, but only God makes it grow. So here is the takeaway. If we're going to call ourselves followers of Christ, we have to drop the judgment and pick up grace. We can't expect everyone to believe like us, live like us, or grow at the same pace we did. And we definitely can't be out here acting like we have it all together when we're still learning to. Instead of judging, let's focus on being examples. Instead of pushing people away with criticism, let's draw them in with love. Because at the end of the day, Jesus didn't save us so we can sit on a high horse. He saved us so we can bring others to Him. And if this episode challenged you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you've ever been hurt by judgment in the church, just know Jesus is not like that. He sees you, He loves you, and He wants you to come to Him without fear of condemnation. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please make sure that you guys rate or comment this podcast if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. This helps the podcast get exposed. And if you are listening on YouTube, then don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment. If you guys want to reach out to me to get more clarity, prayer, or anything, you can DM me on Root to Rise Pod on Instagram. But I thank you guys so much for listening. I love you, and I will see you guys next week.
Transform me, transform me. Yeah, transform me, transform me.